friends. So welcome back to DBC Inc. Live. We are streaming on Facebook and also on YouTube. We have an awesome guest here with us today, but I'm Tara Martin. I'll be your host today. I'm very excited about bringing this guest to you because anytime I talk to her, I always feel uplifted and excited and inspired and ready to just go out and take on the world. So I know that you guys are going to feel much the same after this conversation, but I do want to remind you that as you are feeling any of these feelings, put them over in the comments because every single comment will be entered to win a free book. And Kim has 2 books with us. They are outstanding. And oh my goodness, really, they just are so amazing. Hey, Debbie, welcome. You definitely want to get at least your name, who you are, where you're from, what you do, is just something over in the comments so it enters you to win this book. We will do the drawing tomorrow morning. So if you're watching this on the playback, putting your babies to bed or feeding them, we get that too. Please do put your comments in and we'll look at those in the morning and choose a winner. So thanks again for joining us. We do have Kim Bearden on the show with us. She is the co-founder of the Ron Clark Academy. She is a fearless woman that is just amazing. She at everything she does and touches. We have 2 books with Kim. Fight Song and also Talk to Me. If you've not read those books, they will be up in the links above. Do check them out. They are absolutely amazing. 2 of my favorite books. I'm not kidding. They're highlighted to the no end. And dog-eared and all the things that librarians hate. That's what I do to my books. So Kim, gosh, we're so excited. She's also a teacher, a principal, and the founder of this school. She runs PD. She's an international speaker. She does all those things still even today, which I think is just so cool and awesome. So Kim, I've talked for way too long, so please do formally introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, what you do, for anybody who doesn't know you, which I don't know, they must have been hiding under a rock.
Well, hi, Tara. Hi, everybody who's joining us. Tara, I just love spending time with you, so I feel like we're just 2 girlfriends chatting again, and everybody else just gets to be here with us. So,
yes.
So yeah, for those of you who don't know, yeah, I'm the co-founder and executive director of the Ron Clark Academy. I'm also a teacher. I teach every day. I teach language arts, and our school, it's a school for 4th through 8th graders in Atlanta, but we are also, in addition to being a middle school, we're an educator training facility. So when it's not the middle of COVID-19, educators from all over on most Fridays come to our school. They sit in our classes, they watch us teach, they take our methods and ideas back to their classrooms. So it's just a facility where we share, we learn, we grow from one another. And it's been just so exciting because now we are back for our 3rd week. We've been virtual, 100% virtual up until 2.5 weeks ago. And so this has been so exciting for us because now we're back in the building. We're fortunate to have a large building so that we really can truly socially distance with our students. So I know that's a blessing that not all schools are able to do. And so we feel like we've got a really safe place, as safe as we can be under these current circumstances. And I'm just so happy to be back with my kids. I've just missed them terribly.
I know. You guys are killing it too. 3rd week back and I saw some Cobra Kai and I want to talk about that in a minute because I was like, first of all, I binge watched that and I never binge watched.
See, I knew you would be a Cobra Kai girl. I knew that. See,
you nailed it, girl. You nailed it. So Kim, before we get started on the fun stuff that's happening in your school and in your classroom, which by the way, I'm team Isabindi, if in case anybody was wanting to know. And I
have a house system at our school. Yeah. So
I'm inspired certified by Kim. So so fun. So Kim, tell us a little bit about the 2 books. I know that just in case people haven't had a chance to read them, I will be linking them up above. Tell us a little bit about your inspiration for Talk to Me and then about Fight Song.
Okay, so Talk to Me, it's about 6 principles for effective communication. But truly throughout the years, there are some things I am not good at. But one thing apparently that people would say that I was good at is really bringing people together, having conversations, even difficult conversations. And so for years, people said, you gotta teach other people how to do this. And so I really went down this journey where I reflect upon what is it that I do? You know, how do I do what I do? And I was really able to put it into 6 very simple principles that anybody can use. And so it's consideration, motivation, appreciation, validation, the conversation, and celebration. But for example, you know, consideration is there's always more to the story and you can never fully understand what someone else is going through. but I really delve deeper into those principles and how you can use them not only in your professional life and your relationships with students and parents and coworkers, but also they help in your personal life as well.
Yeah.
And so the book has been something that a lot of districts have done. A lot of group book studies have done them as well together. And then in the back, there's also even additional things that delve deeper, like the idea of, placation. Sometimes we just try to placate people. That's not good. And the importance of sometimes confrontation. Sometimes you do have to confront people, but how do you do that using these principles? And so it's been a real effective tool for a lot of school leaders, a lot of teachers to use together to really kind of figure out how do we hold better conversations that are meaningful, especially the difficult ones.
Yes. I think Talk to Me works for it doesn't matter what your role is. If you are a human and you have a heartbeat, you need to read Talk to Me. It's going to help you to communicate better. And by the way, I'm pretty sure that Kim is good at everything she touches. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm almost 100%.
You notice when you came to stay with me, I never cooked you anything. So
oh, that's true. That's okay. I'm sure you're
I didn't cook you a single meal. We went out the whole time. There was a reason for that.
Okay, so one thing Kim isn't good at.
So Talk to Me. Yeah. So when I wrote Talk to Me, I tell all of the, I teach principles through stories, but whenever I do a lot of speaking and speak to educators across the country when it in different countries too, when it is not in the middle of COVID, I feel like we should always put this little aside for everything you say when it's not COVID, and one of the things I often share with teachers is my personal story, because we all have one. We all have, difficulties we've gone through, challenges. We all have, the bright chapters and the dark pages, but how do you keep doing what you need to do in the midst of struggles if, you're trying to overcome challenges? And so I share some details about a different time in my life when I was broken down, beaten down, overworked, overwhelmed, but I was betrayed. I was in a marriage that was extremely painful. I was betrayed, and it starts with me just lying there in sobbing and tears. How did I pull myself out of that? What are the principles I learned along the way? And I do share some of the dark things that happen, but I don't want it to sound like it's chicken soup for the depressed soul. It's not. There's a lot of humor in the book and a lot of understanding, because that's an earlier part of my life. But the book is a totally different kind of book. I wouldn't say it's got pieces of it that are sort of like a memoir, but there's also a lot of practical application that anybody can take away and use in their life. Because that's the ultimate thing is like, if some pain that happened in my life could help somebody be able to get through a difficult situation in their life, then it makes meaning out of my pain. And so that's why I kind of exposed myself in this way by writing Fight Song. And it was one of those things that there's so many educators out there who are doing so much for so many. And I realized just a lot of them are experiencing this brokenness. And this was even before, in the midst of the way the world is currently right now. Just all of us have hurting hearts for different reasons. And yet you're trying to go in and uplift your students and be strong for them and uplift everyone and be everybody's rock. But what happens when you feel like you're crumbling yourself? And I wanted to give words and wisdom to help people to get through those dark times. And if you read it right now, you might say, well, my life is great right now. It's still got funny and applicable things to your life about ways that we operate and ways that we see the world that I think would help anybody.
Agreed. And always we're in the service profession, right? So we're always dealing with humans, and everybody has a story and they have something they're going through. So even if you're not going through something right now, there's so many pieces from your overcoming personality and how you I love that I got to read that book before anybody else got to read it too. I'm pretty excited about that. But there were so many pieces about that just helped me and equipped me with words to say, things to do that can maybe help those that I serve too. So it's not necessarily just for you, but also giving you some tools and reminding you of how, everybody's going through something. We all have a fight song and reminding people, encouraging them, motivating them to keep pressing on. So, oh my goodness, these 2 books, y'all, I'm not kidding. You need to click the links above as soon as I finish the show. I'll put them up there and preview that. You can preview them for free. That's the beautiful thing about our DBC bookstore. You can click on any book and preview them for free. Just scroll down and click the preview and you get the first couple of chapters for free. And then you just scroll back up and order the darn thing because you got to read the whole piece. So check it out after the show. But for right now, you get Kim. We are so excited to have you motivate us. Tell us something, some strategies, some things you're trying in the classroom. You're back with your kids. So Yeah, just share anything you want.
Well, so we are in a hybrid model. So most of our students are here in the building, but we do have some students, I'm in the Atlanta area. And so, of course, the numbers are still not where we want them to be in the Atlanta area. And some of my kids have, elderly family members living with them or people with underlying conditions. So in each class, there's maybe 4 to 5 kids who are still virtual. And then the rest are in our class. So some of the teachers listening, you're doing the same thing. This hybrid thing, this is tough because you're trying to communicate with those kids in that computer and reach them and be there for them and connect with them while simultaneously trying to connect with 25 kids in your classroom who, by the way, are wearing masks and are 6 feet apart. So these are all new strategies for all of us. One thing I would say to you hybrid teachers, it's the simplest little tidbit is this. Ron came up with the most clever name. He calls the kids in hybrid, he calls them mission control. He's like, mission control, how you doing? So we all, now that they've been deemed mission control, they're holding it down. They're keeping it all down for all of us. Sure, that's kind of like the joke. But when my kids come in, I always make sure that they all, I turn the camera and all the kids in the class wave to the kids in mission control and talk to them so that just for a moment, so that they feel like we're all in this together. We're all one class. It's even though some are in the building and some are not, that's been really helpful. The other thing, though, that I've just really been trying to do is I am a teacher like many who a lot of the way I teach, it's a lot of collaboration and groups and interacting and things like that. And I can't do that in the same way right now because they have to be distanced. And so I'm still trying to find ways to take lessons I did before, but alter them. And so that, there's still that energy, there's enthusiasm, there's excitement, even though everything's muffled behind the ear, and it's a little bit different. So yeah, I do a lot of things with movement. I always have. So for those of you that are teaching things virtually, I have lots of hand motions and signals and things like that. And the kids do it with me. You can even have kids do the wave, or you can have kids high five each other and things like that. And when you're doing that, we didn't require kids to turn on those cameras, but they would turn on those cameras so they could high five the people. And so there's a lot of movement I do. Or even if you said to kids, you know what, you've got 1 minute. I need you to go find something red, yellow, blue, and green. Go. Like anything, any object in your house, go run around the house, and then you give them 1 minute to run around the house. But then when they come back, they'll have the most absurd things, but then I'll maybe put up some questions, but the answers are color coded. So if they have orange, they may hold up their orange sock, or they may hold up an orange bottle of cleaner. And so everybody thinks that's funny, but it's still their way to the answer, so little things like that. But I think what you were probably wanting me to talk about was the Cobra Kai, or even if you don't want to talk about it, I want to talk about Cobra Kai. So,
this is awesome. I'm excited about Cobra Kai too.
So I believe firmly in incorporating things that kids love into my classes. So kids love movement. The kids love, a lot of my kids actually, I found out yesterday, actually take karate, just any kind of stuff that you can do. I personally also think it's fun to bring in things that I love because I'm going to be excited about it. And because it's going to teach them a little bit about who I am. So for those of you that don't watch the show Cobra Kai on Netflix, where have you been? Okay. You've got to watch it.
Yeah.
And to be clear, Cobra Kai, my kids know this too. The Cobra Kai, they have a lot of growing to do. They're the bad guys. Cobra Kai are the bad guys. But I actually went and got the full, karate gi that had the Cobra Kai costume is what I got. And so I came in and I learned on YouTube how to break a board. I've never had a karate class in my life. So I got out there on stage to go pick up my class and broke a board just to start things with a bang. And my hand is a little sore. I'm not gonna lie about that. It wasn't a real thick board, but it was a little board. But that's still, in the middle schoolers' mind, your teacher can break boards. You get some cred for that, like that.
That's some serious street cred.
Yeah. So, but what I did, I've shared, there could be somebody listening, I've shared with thousands of educators this strategy I have where I do referee hand signals to teach punctuation. Mm-hmm. So they do all these different referee signals, but they read a sentence, but they have to correct it. It's not correct. It's incorrect. They have to correct it using the hand motions. So I just alter that. I took karate moves that I found on YouTube, and disclaimer, I had terrible form. The kids knew that. It was all in good fun. But each karate move, like the little Cobra Kai the crane from Karate Kid, when you can't see my whole body, and you're like, this was a capital letter, and punch for the stop, for a period, and I don't know if you can even see all my hands, but we go, and so they would read the sentences and do all the karate chops. It was a hoot. And every time that they did well for several in a row, I broke a board. So today I can barely lift this arm. Breaking boards, but my adrenaline was going, so.
Yeah. You're bring bring all the boards.
Yeah. So if you want to see just like a short, because I was so busy teaching, I didn't have like a videographer. Somebody came in there, just got a couple of clips and I put them together. So I'm at Kim Bearden on Instagram, and there's a video you can just kind of see. And there's also a little bit more explanation where you can kind of see what we were doing. But I will tell you this, people are like, well, does that work? Like, it's interesting. So a couple of days ago, I just used this little online program, Quizzes, where I made an online quiz. They did abysmally on just like a little pre-thing, because we were reviewing these because we learned about dialogue, punctuating dialogue last year. And this morning, after they'd done this yesterday, I gave them a quizzes, and as a class, the class average was a 93%. I was like,
there you go.
It worked.
It does.
Yeah. And they were like, they got it because they were so busy having to concentrate to be able to do the right thing at the right time and all. And they figured it out. So it not only is it fun and it gets kids blood flowing, but it also helps them to really be able to focus and pay. Because who wants to get a worksheet and correct and put 100 commas and quotation marks? But they were acting it out instead. And so they had to understand the concept. It was a different way for them to be able to do it. So.
Oh my goodness. I love this so much. And I did not realize you broke boards.
I did. I'm
so excited. I don't know if you know, but I took Taekwondo.
Did you see? You probably can break like 8-inch thick boards. Like
I can really break boards, but that's impressive that you learned it from YouTube. I mean,
it probably was stupid and it probably wasn't safe. And I didn't punch the board, to be clear, because I thought I'll break my hand. So I did it. I did it like that. Yeah. I did it with my palm of my hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome though. Laura, I saw, who was it? Laura over here. She says, whoa, you broke a board.
It's on the Instagram video. It starts off with me breaking a board. You can see me breaking the board.
So I posted her Instagram over here. So you guys definitely need to go check that out. I think Dave did too.
No, I'm not recommending, like, I don't want somebody to go break their hand trying to do this, because
get on YouTube. Follow the rules first. Well, that's awesome. But the best part about it, Kim, is how you talked about the students performed. And I think that's what Ron Clark Academy, you guys do so well. You show us, at least like when I was there for the professional development, you show us these fun things that are happening. And it looks like the kids are just having so much fun. But the truth is they perform. So I'd love for you to just talk a little bit about that. How do you guys find, I don't even know, a great question, honestly, but in what ways do you find these things that just work and then it actually produces the results that you are hoping for? Not only the kids and adults and anybody there engaged, but then at the end, they're performing. And your kids go to these elite colleges, they're accepted. I mean, tell us all about that stuff.
Okay, so first, our students, really proud of our students. 100% of our students have graduated from high school, 95% are in college or have graduated, and the others are in some other trade industry or the military. But our students, I have kids at Yale and Princeton, and I have a student just got accepted to Harvard for next year, and UNC Chapel Hill and Morehouse and Spelman, and all different kinds of Brown, all kinds of incredible universities. I'm so proud of them. So yes. So here's what happens. We have in education, I am all about creativity. I've always been about creativity in the classroom. As an educator, and it is important to understand that you have to have creativity that is focused on teaching your content standards. Okay, that's where we get into trouble. Like, you may have the cutest idea. Oh my God, that's going to be so cute. It's going to make the best picture on Instagram. But if it does not teach the concept standards you're required to teach, you might be getting into the whole idea of fluff. Now, I'm all about fun, and believe me, I'm all about, I was breaking boards in class, but in the whole totality of the class, that was maybe 3 minutes of board breaking, right? But the rest of the time was intense. So time on task, working on those skills is very important, number one. And number two, everything I did yesterday had a purpose to teach, except for the board breaking. And that was even just to engage them and to get them, caught up in the moment.
Right.
But it was specifically focused on the standards. I was trying to teach them about punctuating dialogue and conversation and comma rules and quotation marks. And those are things that they needed to learn. So when you're trying to do something creative, you've got to think, what is the goal here? Like, what are the content standards I'm trying to teach, and how will this creativity get them there? And so there's research by Susan Kovalik from many years ago. It said the brain is looking for creativity, usefulness, or an emotional bridge to take things to long-term memory. So you can remember that, take your cue, right? Creative, useful, or emotional. Like, useful is obviously those real world experiences. Emotional, you had some kind of an emotional connection with the content. Yeah. Creativity can help you as well, but you've just got to make sure what is the content you're actually teaching with that clever lesson, with that fun thing? Is it connected? And that's where sometimes teachers go astray. It's a fun idea. Kids are engaged, but kids could be engaged doing something that doesn't really teach them anything. And you want to make sure you're teaching them what we're required to teach them.
You guys do such an outstanding job of that. And I mean, your kids show it. they show it. Exactly. I love so many things about what you've talked about tonight. I really too, backing way up, I saw a lot of people commenting about the color. Go get something with these 4 colors and using that as kind of like your multiple choice response. Using that as also like, hold up your yellow if you believe this, or your blue if you believe this. I love that. And so I'm wondering, do you have any other just little tidbit strategies? I have just a couple more minutes that you're using that is working really effectively. I love those little.
So and the thing about the colors is make sure you're telling them to get anything in the house, because you don't want to say, go get a red pen, because some kids may not have a red pen, right? So you got to make sure it's almost the absurdity of it that makes that what's catchy and funny. And that's why they love that. Yeah. This isn't my idea, but we have a phenomenal math teacher, Diane Kemp, but I love it. If you do have kids learning on Zoom, and I'm assuming Google Meets does this too, but I don't know if you can change your background, but if you're on Zoom, she actually has, like she sent them the little background colors, right? So you can change your background. And so if they're working on something independently, they put up the color like a green if they've got it, and they put up a yellow if they're kind of struggling, and they put up a red like, help me, I'm dying here. We have those kind of ideas in our classroom. Sometimes teachers will have little signal, but you can actually have them do that with their backdrops of their screens. And so there's lots of clever ideas like that. I thought that's a really fun, simple thing to do as well too. So also, I'm big on music, and I think that there's a lot of power to music. So we do a lot of, at our school, we do a lot of, this is kind of getting to that other question you asked me too. So we do a lot of chants and cheers and things like that. I, since early on, I've always used songs to teach content. And here's another thing where teachers can either be right on target with getting those, getting kids to understand, or go off. If you're going to do a 4.5-minute song with kids, it should be full of academic content. Right? Like, you don't want to sing 4.5 minutes of, I love language arts, it's so great, go language arts, because then it's getting into the fluff. And that's, if you sing in 4.5 minutes of nothing every day, all week long, you've wasted half a class period by the end of the week.
Oh, that's good.
Think about it that way. So you want it to be full of content. Is the language in this song teaching a skill I want them to know? And so that way it's time well spent. They're getting to be joyful and sing. Now that's different than maybe like a little chant where you're celebrating something, but I'm talking about like a full-length song. It should have lyrics that are helping them to memorize things so that they can delve deeper into the content. So that's another example of just like a tip, something that works in your classroom, but it's going to be fun and engaging, but it's going to get that desired outcome and results that you want, which makes all the difference.
I love it. I think I told you this when I visited Atlanta too, but I had the original, I still have it. I cleaned out my file cabinet a couple of years ago. I still have the original Ron Clark CD. And I literally sang that Planet song with my 3rd graders. We had to teach those. I couldn't believe it. It was so bizarre to be teaching the 3rd graders.
I can't believe you have that. I don't even have a copy of that.
I still have it. I need to pull it out and just take a selfie with it.
So before the Ron Clark Academy ever opened, so Ron and I met in 2000. We were both Disney Teacher of the Year, and we hit it off, and we collaborated on some things. And so this was back when he was, not a lot of teachers were using music as much as he was. And he said, I want to make like a CD of educational songs. And so I wrote the lyrics for several of them. And then he got someone to do the beats and he performed them and everything like that. So we made this CD that teachers used everywhere. But like, I don't even have a copy of it anymore. And so it was called The Essential Raps because his book was called The Essential 55.
Yeah.
That was before the Academy even existed.
That is so awesome. Yeah. I met Ron Clark my 2nd year of teaching, and he signed my book. I was so stoked because I had it and I had the book, and I was so excited.
He's great, y'all. He's great. Yeah. So yeah.
But my student, so I had a student, Tayshawn, he sent me a Facebook message. I think it was maybe a year ago, and he said, "Hey, Mrs. Martin, I just wanted to let you know I still think about you sometimes, and sometimes I rap the planets just for fun."
I love it.
I love it. I made it one of my posts from Facebook a couple years ago.
I think that's even accurate. So, I don't teach science. Like, what was the planet? And then it wasn't a planet. And then it was a planet again. Like, what? Pluto.
Yeah.
So the song may not even be accurate anymore.
No, because that was like 13 years ago.
That was like 13 years ago. I just pulled up the information like off of, I couldn't even pull it off Wikipedia. This was before Wikipedia. I went and read somewhere about planets and wrote a song about them.
The dictionary.
Yeah. Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, Kim, this has been just so much fun. I love any chance I get to hang out with you, and I know you're a super busy woman, so thank you for taking time with us. I think we have so many ideas to go back. Y'all, on her Facebook, which I included over in the links, she had a little picture of the Cobra Kai moves. So I mean, yeah, you can watch them too on her video, but then there's just like a picture too. So if you click on her Facebook link and you scroll down to those posts, you should be able to find those as well. And yeah, this is so amazing. Does anyone have any questions for Kim that you want answered before we close out tonight?
Wait a minute. Donetta said the CD's on Amazon for $900. Who would pay? Y'all, don't be paying $900 for that.
It was pretty amazing. I had the lyrics too. They have the lyrics inside.
Oh my gosh, Tara, go sell it.
Go sell? No.
Yes, it's $900. You could like go on vacation somewhere.
It'll be worth a lot more in a few more years.
That is a hoot, Donetta. Who would have known? I did not know. That is so funny. Well, I wish I had some of those in a garage somewhere. I'd be selling.
I'm gonna take a selfie with mine after this, just because I need to.
Wow. Awesome. Crazy. That is so crazy.
That is crazy.
So Monica, how long do we get to come to RCA? Okay, so exciting to know. So we are hoping, if numbers continue, we have educator training days beginning in March, but they're very limited numbers. For example, like we used to have 600 teachers a day when visitors. Now we're having about 35 to 40. We're going to start very slowly because we want to make sure that everybody is safe and socially distanced and things like that. And we really would make sure that all the protocols are on point so that we can, be in this for the long haul. So, but we do have registration days open. You'll see beginning and dates open. Just know that they will close out rather quickly because we're going to have a fraction of the visitors at first. Once I think more people are vaccinated, then, we're hoping that this summer that we'll be able to, still probably have to have safety protocols, but to be able to invite more people. We do have a new addition to our school, which it actually came at a wonderful time because we do have extra space. We have a huge theater now with seating, and my classroom seats 240 people. So we have room because when the educators come, they sit there, and then my classroom's on the bottom. So if you've seen pictures of my classroom, like, what in the world? That's a huge room. It's because so we can accommodate the visitors, so we have a lot more space to be able to do that. So that's really exciting.
And that's kind of a blessing too, because I know when I came, the other piece was being built. So now you really could space out 6 feet apart, no problem, even with more people. That's so awesome. Oh, Donita says there is only one left. And so Dave says you should try to search for a hidden stash of those.
There's got to be in a warehouse, like somewhere. You know what? Ron's got to have a box of those somewhere. And I'm going to make up a fake name on Amazon and sell.
Yeah, there you go for $900.
People like, who she think she is? Everybody's gonna pay $900. Like, seriously, who would pay $900 for that? That's crazy.
It's pretty awesome, though. I love it.
Wow. I didn't realize that now, as a songwriter, I have some very valuable. I did not know.
Put that on your resume.
Oh my gosh, that is so funny. That's really great.
She can do anything.
Can I tell them real quickly about one other thing that's going on real quickly, if you don't mind? So one other thing I just want to mention that launched a course. I launched an online course with Premier University in conjunction with Premier Speakers. Tara speaks to Premier Speakers as well. But it is a class, how to create a climate and culture for success, but it's modules. So it's online. You can do it in your own timing, your own pace. There's questions, there's notes, there's reflection thing, but there's a video teaching you each concept. And then there's also a video with how to implement each of these things in your classroom. So if you're interested in that, or you're interested in that for your school or teachers, it's at premieruniversity.com. And Premier is spelled with an E on the end of Premier. Sometimes it's spelled without it. Premier with an E on the end. Premieruniversity.com if anybody's interested in that.
Perfect. And also, Kim, while you're on that, go ahead and tell everyone where to connect with you. So say they start reading the book, they want to share a little bit about it. Maybe they want to find how to book you to speak, those kinds of things. Tell us where we can get connected.
So I'm at Kim Bearden everywhere, which makes it very easy. Okay. So at Kim Bearden, I tend to put the most on Instagram, Twitter sometimes. And then, but Instagram is where I put like the most teaching strategies, and on Facebook. And on Facebook, I also have a business account. It's Kim Bearden Educator.
Okay.
Now I have a TikTok that's Kim Bearden 1, but I've just been watching and stalking people. I haven't posted anything yet.
So he's warming up.
It's like I finally get Instagram just mastered and down and feel really good about it. And then they keep adding apps. I'm so like, I just want.
Can we just stop already? I know there's like.
Can we just stop? Can we just like stay with what we got? It's too much.
True. It's so true.
It's too much.
Well, I have an idea, Kim. You should pull out those lyrics to raps, and that could be what you advertise on TikTok. I mean, here we go.
See, I need a TikTok tutorial because, when I'm seeing it, it's like, I don't think anybody wants to see me dancing and throwing up words in the air because I'm just, that's not my skill either. So I've got to learn, like, what is my thing for TikTok? I know who I am as a teacher and what my things are. I just don't know yet how to translate that to the TikTok universe. So perhaps I need to have some time to sit down and think about that.
It's understandable. It's understandable. Yeah. All right, friends. Well, Dave has the links over there for the courses, for the books. We have the IG links, the Facebook links. You have no reason not to connect with this incredible educator who is doing all the things and killing it out there. So thank you, Kim, for joining us. Thanks to all of our DBC family who is joining us right now, who's going to join us later once we put the kids to bed. Remember, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., we will be drawing a name. You get to choose which one of these books you want to win. So you can get a free one. And for all of those who aren't the lucky winners this time, that's okay. Go up above and click those links and get you a copy right now so you won't be missing out any longer. Kim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. And thank you all for listening. I hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your school year.
It's been so much fun. Bye, everyone. See you next week. Same place, same time.